Hey everyone, it's Neptorka here, back for another Fire Emblem Heroes reaction. If you've been watching, I hope you've been enjoying my Aether Raids episodes. After this, I'll be starting the new week. But before that, we have a legendary or mythic or emblemish trailer to look at. So, let's go ahead and see what we get this time. Sounds like Engage. Alright. Male Aleer.
If not for my mother, the emblems, and my friends,
He looks okay.
I wouldn't be here.
I don't think he looks bad. Oh my goodness. I do really like female Aleer.
Let me guide you.
I don't know if this artwork suits him though. We got Lumera and then Aleer right after it. So, Engage fans better be happy.
A time for all things.
Okay. Well, I'm a little disappointed. I thought that we would be getting consistent emblem heroes, but that doesn't look to be the case. I thought we would be getting it like every. I thought we'd be getting it like every. We'd be getting a new emblem hero every patch, but or every. Excuse me. Every time we have a legendary mythic, but that doesn't seem to be the case. Maybe they'll take turns cycling in with the mythics, which is probably what they should do. So we'll see. But let's go ahead and take a look at his kit. Male Aleer, not really one of my favorites, so not really too hyped about it. It's the most natural selection though for a legendary though, because
the emblems and my friends,
we're kind of running out.
I wouldn't be here.
I do love that he's infantry. So let's go ahead and look at the first skill. We have Divine One's Arts. Accelerate special trigger. Unit attacks twice. Even if foe initiates combat, unit attacks twice. Excuse me. At start of combat, if unit's HP is greater than or equal to 25%, grants Spectrum 5 to unit and inflicts Spectrum minus X on foe during combat. X equaled the number of distinct game tiles among allies within 3 spaces of the unit times 3 plus 4 max 10. What? X equals the number of distinct game titles among allies. So it's okay. Yeah. I think the other Aleer has something like this. So different games. You need at least 2, which isn't much, to max it out. Reduces the percentage of foes non-special, reduces damage by X% scales by 50%. And also if foes attack can trigger foes special. And units res is greater than or equal to foes res plus 5, inflict special cooldown count +1 on foe before foes first attack during combat. That's pretty good. Essentially, I think Veil has the same ability, but it's like AoE for everyone, not just for themselves. And then we have Dragon's Roar. Boosts special damage by 40% of units res when special triggers. If unit or foe's special is ready, or if units or foes special triggers before or during combat, and also if units res is greater than or equal to foes res -4 during combat, reduces damage from foes next attack by 40%. I have a hunch that this will be inheritable to all dragons and not just him. That's just from what I'm seeing here. It looks like that's the case. Could be wrong about that though. Let's see his alt skill or his PRF skill, because this is really what's important. He's got attack speed pledge, and I think the last one to have that was his alter ego, female version. Speed and res bulwark 4. I don't know if we've had a bulwark 4. This might be the first one. Foes with, I think actually no, we've gotten it once before. I just don't remember who it was on. Foes with range equal 1 cannot move through spaces adjacent unit. Foes with range equal 2 cannot move through spaces within 2 spaces of unit. Inflict speed and res -4 on foe and reduces damage from foe's first attack by 40% during combat. And it restores 7 HP to unit after combat. I really do like these for tanky, units. I really kind of want to put one of these on like a Aether Raids, like super tank. So let's look at the big ability, Emblem's Miracle, which is his A skill. Unit can counterattack regardless of foe's range. Well, that's kind of unfair. I wish female Alir had that as well. If unit is within 3 spaces of an ally, grants Spectrum 9 to unit during combat and reduces damage from foe's first attack during combat and from area of effect specials by 40%. If the number of allies within 3 spaces of unit is greater than or equal to 3, and foe initiates combat, if unit's HP is greater than 1 and foe would reduce unit's HP to 0 during combat, unit survives with 1 HP and after combat restores 99 HP to unit. Okay, and then the rest is parentheses explaining. It turns him into a super tank. Normally the deal to get this type of restoration is you gotta be at least, there's usually like an HP cutoff of at least 25%. He doesn't have that, which is pretty awesome. That means it's like kind of like legendary FeH, like you're gonna have to get through 2 health bars as long as he has 3 units nearby, and he's set up like a tank, so it's kind of like, well, why wouldn't he? So this is kind of interesting. I think his stat allocation is kind of important though. It seems to be a lot of it seems like he's gonna have a lot of emphasis on speed and res, and then but there's attack speed pledge here, so I get the feeling that it's mostly on speed and res, and then his low damage will be made up for by the fact that he can attack 4 times. Let's see if they show his abilities anywhere. Hang on.
I wouldn't be here.
Not here. 12 damage against Freyr is kind of low. But he's looking to be a really good Omni tank. Probably going to end up being the best Omni tank in the game.
May you find rest.
You cut that damage by a lot.
Let me guide you.
But you see how much he had to burst through in order to make that happen? I'm not gonna lie, I'm not super impressed with this.
For all things.
I'll show you here in a second. Okay, they didn't show. Just real quick, I want to explain why. So, as you know, Freyr can be pretty bulky, and he's a solid unit. If you don't have him, I would recommend getting him if you can for your teams. But it took all 4 hits to take out this Freyr, and this Freyr only needs minimal support in order to survive this Alir. even though Freyr is a defensive mythic. Let's just say he had someone like Vale supporting him. Okay. I know those are on the opposite sides of the aisle in terms of mythics, but I mean, that's essentially all he would need to be able to survive a counterattack from this Alear. I mean, when you have an Omni tank, one of the big things that you want to be able to do is to not just survive the attack, but also eliminate the unit.
Let me guide you.
And this took all... Yeah. He overkilled by about 15, but it took all 4 hits, and it took... if he had someone like Vale, Vale would have been able to push back his cooldown counter and help him survive. So it's just something to think about. In Arena, he's going to be extremely good, though. Now, as for the units on this banner, let me see here. Alright. This is what we got. So, for colorless, which is supposed to be the big special one, we've got Goto, Gulaveg, and Alear. Let's just give that just a score of 80 out of 100, okay? So I can just middle ground so that I can judge the rest. Green is Ascended Peony, or Attuned Peony, Legendary Nidian, and Mythic Haether. In my opinion, that scores higher. That scores like an 85. Attuned Peony is one of the best dancers in the game by far. In the most recent Aether Raid season, I was using her a lot. And Ninian is an amazing legendary unit, and Haether is an amazing mythic unit. I used Haether a lot this season. She's a tank buster. She really is good at doing that. So I gotta say green's a better pool than colorless. Blue is legendary Myrrh, Freyr, and who's the other? Fabale. That's probably definitely the worst one. I would say give it a score of... it's not that bad. Give it 65 out of 100. Fabale's got good fodder. I've gotten pity broken on him twice already. So if you get him, that's probably the worst unit you can get in this entire batch. Maybe Goto, maybe worse. Or Harken. But it's still pretty good fodder. Myrrh, though, Myrrh's also kind of a downside. I love her to death. One of the best artworks in the game, but the best thing she has is Warp Bubble. And Warp Bubble can be really useful, but I mean, we just got the Valentine's Myrrh, which is way better, way more use than the legendary Myrrh. And then for red, we've got the Vaser. I think that is Attuned Triandra and Harken. I can't quite remember what Harken's fodder is, but I know he's a solid unit overall. I have a feeling he doesn't have quite as good a fodder as Fabale does. Attuned Triandra is just as good in every way, shape, and form as Attuned Peony. In fact, in my honest opinion, the best units on this banner are Freyr, and then the 2 attuned girls, dancer girls. They're just so useful. In my upcoming week, I'll be using Attuned Triandra. It's just really good. And so, and then Vaser, I really haven't seen many people use her. She's pretty, I mean, she's still a solid unit. Overall, I would say that one probably rates the same as colorless. Goto really brings colorless down, and Attuned Triandra really brings red up. So, along with Vaser. So, I think all four of the colors are pretty close, but in all honesty, I think green is the best one in this batch. And then if you don't have Freyr, I think Freyr is a solid one to have as well. So just something to think about. But that's pretty much it for this reaction. I would say an exceptional, extremely good Omni tank in Arena for male Alir. Outside of Arena, I don't think he's going to be able to cut it in terms of he needs to be able to dish more damage back, at least from what I'm seeing so far. So we'll see what happens. And, I think one thing that is proven is that if you find a team that is really just super high damage focused, a lot of glass cannons, he may be able to be one of those characters that can survive that. Not quite sure. We'll have to see it in action, but I mean, that is a possibility for him. So, verdict's still out on him, but he looks like one of the best Omni tanks in the game. So, that's pretty much it. And I hope you guys enjoy this reaction, and I will see you guys next time. Neptorka out. See you guys.